Right, hello. So I have I have a slight update about the Sluice, and here you can see a picture that I took from the metal shop where they are making it, and they had made these test bendings with the actually I'm not sure what do you call that machine in English, but anyway, it's a sheet metal tool that makes with what you can use to make sluices, for example, make bends in the sheet metal. Now they had a problem with the bigger one, which you can see here under here. The punch angle for the tool, the thing works like you have a, actually let's flip here, you have like a plate, and then you have a tool which comes down with a great force, and then you have like this opposing bit tool, and depending how far you push it, you can make bends. For example, this would bend like so. They had a problem with this. The sluice is too deep for the tool. I'm guessing it's this edge here starts like hitting this. If you imagine it here, the tool comes down here, so this would collide. Now I sort of knew this, but I was assuming that it doesn't really matter because it's, well, it doesn't really have to be that perfect, the profile, but I sort of didn't think it true enough. But the solutions they came up was this, that they bent two pieces and welded together from the middle to get the proper they and also I want to stay in with the plan, basically, so we decided to do it this way. Now this of course made a slight made me worry about something. Now there's this thing called laminar flow in sluices, which means that when water flows, it like flows in if you look from the side, let's say we have, actually let me change the color, you have the bottom of the sluice, and then you have the water coming down. This all is, actually maybe I should change the color once more. This is the water, and we have like stones and other particles going along with the water. Now the water is not moving at like in a constant speed. Well, it is, but it's not moving as fast. Like if you layer this in layers like so, this layer down here is moving, if I understood it correctly, moves slower than this one. And why it does that is because there's friction between the bottom of the sluice and the water that, with the bottom of the sluice. And now that, let's actually go through this quickly. Now, because this is called, I think it was laminar flow, and some cold catchment systems, especially Expomed and things like that, I think rely on this phenomenon, so that you adjust your sluices so that this this middle one and the layers above, well, actually they are not actual layers, they are more like a gradient from of speeds. So you adjust for so that these top layers move fast enough that they carry along all the rocks and silt and stuff, and gold nuggets just drop to the bottom and move along this very bottom. Now, I think that in my current setup, which I have had in there's the feed sluice comes like a water is flowing that way, and there's a joint, and it goes to the sluice that has all this rifles and mats and all that. And usually most of the gold seems to be around here, and I think it's the laminar flow thing that actually makes that. Because if you think about it, this top sluice has nothing like disturbing the flow, so it gets to like flow in very linear fashion without any disturbances. So the gold just comes scraping this bottom and drops here, and here I start to have all this mats and all that stuff, and that makes a lot of disturbances because of course rifles depend on that. But I think this is one why it seems to be the gold is usually in just very one in tight spot, at least for me. It gets quite rapidly like you rarely see any gold after, let's say, 20-30 centimeters from where the drop happens. But yeah, now back to this thing. So I was a little bit worried about, because if there's now this weld, this could cause disturbances to the laminar flow. But I mean, when I first heard about this, because I had not seen these profiles when we talked about this, but then I realized that this actual profile here is the bottom one of those two sluices, which means this weld is actually under the mats and all that, so that's not a problem at all, and it really doesn't matter. And luckily we have this nice clean surface here, which is the feeding sluice. So yeah, of course we have the this shouldn't be a problem. I mean, we have same effect, and since this is steel, it probably is more let's say has less friction than the wooden one, I think. Not quite sure about that, because wood has the special property that it kind of swellens up when there's water introduced to it. So yeah, but I'd imagine this is more like a slippery for stones and stuff like that. But yeah, so anyway, this picture was taken, was it last Friday? So it's almost a week already. And I was asking about what's their like schedule for it, and I think I managed to squeeze out this month maybe out of him. But there was like still a little bit confusion about what all parts are they going to do. Because there's lots of things to do. Actually, let me see if I can quickly take the thing up here. So here we have the sluices. So we were discussing about what are they going to do in the at the shop. How do you use this? So we talked about that, at least these big profiles with all the nooks and crannies and the whole things. But I think they will also do their rifles. We didn't actually discuss about these handles, but this thing is still a little bit unknown. So yeah, but I'm hoping they will do this because it's like it's not difficult thing to do, but it takes quite a lot of time, which I personally don't have at this moment. But this thing, for example, I might have to do myself because I'm not exactly sure if this is the actual design, because it's still a little bit in the works, if let's say. Yeah, so that's where that thing. So it's progressing finally. It's been many months while trying to get it happen, and now it's finally happening. I have no idea about the costs, but I think it won't be that much, mainly because, well, it's students who are making this, I think. Yes. Yeah. So I'll keep you posted when I know more. Hopefully next week or the week after that, I have to go there and see what's happening. So yeah, thanks and see you later.